Ever heard of a hero who reeked of cheap whiskey? Meet Frank. For 30 years, the sign above O'Malley's pub was the only roof he truly knew. To the town, he was just the drunk, a useless ghost haunting the bar stool. His days were a blur of whiskey, his nights a stumble into oblivion. One rainy night, he fell, cracking his head on the curb. The world went black. He woke up aching, the craving for a drink his only compass. Back at the bar, halfway through his third glass, it happened again. Blackout. But this time was different. He was standing in the future, watching Officer Dale, the local cop, step onto a rotten floorboard at the old lighthouse. He saw the wood snap, the fall, the broken neck. Frank jolted awake, his heart pounding. It wasn't a dream. He had to warn him. He found Dale at the precinct. "Dale, stay away from the lighthouse!" But who listens to the town drunk? Laughed off and dismissed, Frank took matters into his own hands. He dragged a heavy construction barrier in front of the lighthouse steps, a clumsy, desperate act. The next day, the news was all over town. Officer Dale had swerved to avoid a falling crane, a detour that saved his life, a detour that led him right to the barrier Frank had placed. Suddenly, the whiskey wasn't a curse, it was a gift. The town that scorned him now toasted him. "Pour me another, Mitch," Frank would say, and the bartender obliged with newfound respect. Frank became a reluctant prophet, fueled by alcohol. He needed the blackouts to see the future. He saved a family from a house fire, prevented a train from derailing. He was a hero, but each vision chipped away at his life. He saw himself aging and fast forward, more wrinkles, looser clothes, his body wasting away. Then came the biggest vision yet. Sarah, the kind waitress who always brought him soup, was in danger. He saw a massive factory collapsing, crushing her in an instant. This prophecy would demand a blackout so deep he might not come back from it. At the bar, he ordered 3 shots of the strongest stuff. "Frank, don't," Mitch pleaded, his hand shaking as he poured. "I have to," Frank rasped. "Tell Sarah I'm sorry." He downed the shots and the world dissolved. He managed to warn everyone. The factory collapsed just minutes after the last worker escaped. Sarah was safe. The sound of sirens was the last thing Frank heard. He woke up in a sterile white hospital room. A doctor stood over him. "You're a miracle, Frank. Your body completely shut down. You'll no longer be able to speak or walk again." "I'm sorry, Frank, but you're sober now. Completely." Frank tried to speak, to move, but he was paralyzed, trapped in a silent, sober body. They wheeled him to the window. Below, a crowd cheered, holding signs that read St. Frank. Sarah was there, her face streaked with grateful tears. They saw a hero. He saw a failure. And then, with a clarity sharper than any whiskey, he saw it. A new vision, a future only he could see now that he was sober. He saw Sarah getting into a car. He saw another car, a drunk driver, a horrific crash. He tried to scream, to warn her, to do something. But he was powerless. He was condemned to watch the tragedy unfold, a prophet without a voice, a hero who could no longer save anyone. The town celebrated his recovery, his long, peaceful life ahead. But for Frank, it was the beginning of his own personal hell, watching the future he could no longer change. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content that makes you think. See you next time.